Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Hope you're all having a good one. Today I want to talk briefly about the Osmo Action 4. Now this is not going to be by all means a technical in-depth review of this camera. If you want a technical in-depth review, you can look somewhere else. This is going to be my personal, non-biased first impressions of this camera and what I think of it, and also some red flags that you should be aware of before buying this. This is not sponsored by anyone. I paid my own money for this product, and I just want to talk to you about this and share my thoughts and my impressions. So yeah, let's get into it. First of all, a little bit of a backstory. I have a bit of an emotional connection to these action cameras. The inspiration for my now profession and also this YouTube channel was from GoPros back in the day. I had the original GoPro. I think this was like the GoPro Hero Plus or something that I had back in 2015 that I just bought and I was using just to walk around with and shoot random memories, random vlogs, just for personal use, for remembering my life. And then slowly I kind of got into video creation more and more, and then it now spiraled into something that I do full-time professionally. I had 3 different GoPro products back in the day. The last GoPro that I bought was the GoPro Hero 6. So the 6 is quite old, and now I've upgraded to the Action 4. But the reason why I didn't stick with GoPro, my personal reasons, is because to me, the GoPros, they always felt a bit clunky. They always felt a bit like unfinished when you use them. The user experience for me was never great. Sometimes they would really lag when you push the button and you would start to record. The GoPro Hero would always kind of like lag and take a few seconds to switch on, which after a while, if you shoot a lot of moments that you don't want to miss, it gets quite annoying. Also, they felt a bit clunky just with like the user interface, flicking through menus. Touchscreen was always a bit laggy. And then I also had a bunch of times where like files would get corrupt. Sometimes videos would just get deleted. Sometimes photos would be corrupt on them. It seemed to be an issue that persevered with the GoPros, unfortunately. So when I was doing my research before buying the Action 4, I was looking through like online forums and everything, and people were still complaining that even the latest versions of like the GoPro Hero 11 or 12 were still basically coming out with these issues. And I just thought, you know what, let me give Osmo Action 4 a chance. So the things that I love and the things that I want to use this for, I want to use this basically like the behind the scenes camera of me just kind of recording my workflow that I do for my bigger projects. I also want something that is going to be super easy to use. Like with this camera, I don't want to do any additional work. I don't want to do any color grading. I don't want to do any like robust big editing. I just want something that I will like click the button, record decent looking video files with that are already going to look good straight out of camera, but something that I'm not going to have to like faff around with a lot, because if I want to really step up my production quality and really record something high quality, I can use my big cameras for that. I can use my big lenses for that. For this, I just want it to be like literally run and gun, one button operation. I want it to be decent straight out of the body, and I want it to be easy to use. So does it meet my requirements? From my 1 month of use so far, I can tell you that video quality is great. So the examples that you're seeing right here on the screen right now, this is straight out of camera. This is unedited. This is just how it is coming out of the camera directly. And I think the colors, the sharpness, the stabilization, all of that looks fantastic. I didn't have to edit much here at all. In fact, this is all unedited footage. And the colors, the stability, of course, all of that is great. And for that, I really love this product. I think it does the job really well. Also, in terms of the interface and ease of use, so like flicking through the menus, the responsiveness of the Action 4 I think is great. As soon as I click the button, it starts recording. There's no delay, there's no lag. You can also set some custom menus in the profile. So you can like set up to 3 or 4 different custom menus where you can flick through the interface really quickly and just record in whatever frame rate or resolution that you need to. So that's all very well thought out. The other thing that I absolutely love is this clip design. So This is like a magnetic clip that you have that sticks at the bottom of the camera. And the advantage is that you can quickly go from filming horizontally to boom, sticking it on like this, and now you film vertically. Because let's be honest, like there's so much content that we're putting out that is in vertical format, that going from this to basically this, you know, that is quite a handy feature to have these days. On the GoPros back in the day, I used to like miss so many shots, or I would film in the wrong aspect ratio because it would just be cumbersome to like undo the nut and, you know, flip the camera 90 degrees and get into a vertical position. But this really solves the job really quickly. And if you have this plastic cage that the camera comes with, you have both mounting options. But even the great thing that even without the cage, if you take the camera out just by itself, you basically don't need anything on the camera at all to already have a mounting solution just like that. And it works really well. It's really sturdy. It sticks on there like solid, and yeah, it feels really good. So this is all the positives. This is what I love. But there is one big red flag that you should be aware of that all of these other sponsored reviews don't really talk about. And the issue that I found for me is that this camera requires you to register it with the DJI Osmo software on your phone. So you need to download the app and you need to register it with the app. And on paper, that doesn't sound too bad. The problem for me is that I have an Android phone, and when I was buying this camera, and this wasn't even that long ago, so this was February 2024, just coming up to a couple of months ago, the user experience with the app on the Android was awful. And I actually later I researched this and I found that a lot of Android users are complaining that basically they can't, for some reason, download the correct app and pair it with the camera. And I was having the same issues. I bought the camera, I was trying to pair it with the app on my Android phone. It just wasn't working. I tried everything. I was sat there for maybe like 2-3 hours trying to pair this camera to my app, and I nearly returned it back to the shop and got a refund. The only reason why I didn't do that is because I was just about to meet a friend, and my friend had his iPhone. And when I borrowed my friend's iPhone and I created a profile on my friend's iPhone and I registered this camera with his iPhone, then it worked flawlessly. And to be fair, if you have an iPhone and you do the app thing on the iPhone, it works really well and it's really quick. But for some reason, this issue was really big on Android. I don't know if it's been resolved, but this is something you should be aware of. I actually saw a blog article, some guy was complaining. Some guy bought this camera to take with him on a hike in the mountains. He bought it at the airport. And when he arrived in the mountains, he didn't realize that you only have like 5 attempts to use the camera before you have to register it with the app. And the guy had an Android phone. He was trying to basically pair it with his phone. It wasn't working. And his entire trip, everything that he saw, he couldn't capture on this device because he couldn't pair it with his Android app. And I do think that's quite bad because, you know, if you paid money for a product, you should be able to use it. There shouldn't be a requirement for you to have to register it with any sort of software. But for whatever reason, Osmo Action decided to go down the path of like making you do it. So yeah, something for you to be aware of. If you're an Android user, make sure you have an iPhone handy or some iPhone that you can borrow, because that's the only solution that I found personally that has worked for me. But yeah, my plan is I have this little accessory. This is a Telesyn sort of neck mount that I'm gonna mount like this. I've heard good things about this thing. I haven't really properly used it yet. Somebody told me this is gonna be a bit fiddly. And there we go. So the idea is that you wear this obviously around your neck, and then the camera will be here. And I wanna basically use it to record behind the scenes of my workflow, showing off how I work with my clients, showing off what I do specifically on a video shoot, like different things you have to bear in mind, and how I direct different people that I work with on video sets. on film sets, and I think this would be a pretty cool little thing to use, and I think Osmo Action 4 will do a great job. Also in low light, I have to say it is quite impressive for an action camera. If you're used to typical action camera footage, what you get with the Action 4 is like, yeah, significantly, like you can see the difference. Not perfect, but you can see the difference that it's a lot better for the most part. So there you go, guys. I hope you found this like an interesting insight into the Osmo Action 4 from a Micro Four Thirds user. And yeah, I hope you found this video useful. If you have the Osmo Action 4, I would like to hear your comments below about how you're finding this camera. So let's get a little discussion going. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.